Welcome to the Spartan Up Podcast. I'm Kevin Paulus, Jackson Bass, and McKaylee Effin with you here for another episode. And it is busy times right now, folks. The crossover season is well underway. I know we all started doing some research. What are we going to talk about on the podcast? And man, the list is long.
No, me and McKaylee were, Monday is always the day that we have to come in and we're looking at previews and we're looking at athletes of the week. We're looking at all sorts of stuff. We just started our new month, so we had to push out something for athlete of the month. And I know McKaylee and I are both, and you, of course, are feeling the love that all the sports are bringing us.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of conference players of the week. And, like you said, you guys named the athletes of the month, Raising Cane's athletes of the month as well. Let's jump into it. I want to talk soccer first. A little bit of a disappointing finish to the year for the men as they lose to receiving votes, Missouri Valley, and also a loss to number 2 in the country, Mid-America Nazarene on Saturday. So their season is over. 5-9-3 is what they end up, but kind of maybe a bit of a fizzle down the end at the end of the year to not qualify for the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I expected a lot more from them, but also I knew that they were a young team, so I figured it was going to be a building year, and that happens every few years to teams, is that they just need a year to build, or 2 or even 3, and then those seniors are fire on the field on that senior year. But yeah, so Evan Bash ended up really showing out overall towards the end of the season.
Sure.
So I was really impressed with that. He was able to lead the Spartans overall with 40 saves. So that's pretty impressive. Adele and Anel and Keegan were all able to end the season with 11 points each. So I think that the scoring opportunities were always very diverse. Everybody was getting a touch, but at the end of the day, we just couldn't win some of the games that we should have.
Yeah, I got the opportunity to travel with the men's soccer team last week to Missouri Valley, and there was a lot of pressure on that match. It was the 8 and the 9, the 7-8-9 area, and they had to win
as far as qualifying for the tournament. Yeah.
And it was really sad. The whole time you're thinking, all right, there's this big buildup, all the words would be said, but you could just, I hate to say it, you almost kind of felt it in the air that they just weren't. They're just coming off that super big high win over William Penn the week before, and you could almost tell. And then, of course, I'm sure McKaylee also saw the whipping weather that was just absolutely atrocious out in Marshall. I love Missouri Valley, but Marshall, Missouri, man, there's just something about that place.
Yeah, definitely. That one time you came to our lacrosse game, it was pouring down rain too.
No, I think it's me.
I think you bring the bad weather more than
the men's soccer kind of put themselves in a rough situation, knowing that they had to go into Saturday against number 2 in the country and get a win, and lost 5-1 there. So because I think, to your point, at that point, they knew their fate and, just weren't ready to play, a solid game against number 2. The good news on the women's side, they actually qualify for the Heart of America Conference tournament in their first year. They are the number 7 seed. They'll go in with a 5-10-3 record, coming off of a couple of losses, including their quarterfinal opponent. They lost to Missouri Valley 3-0, and then lost to Mid-America Nazarene on Saturday 2-0. But they get a rematch against Missouri Valley. What is it, Wednesday night? Is that right, when the game is?
Yep, it'll be Wednesday at 7, and I'm not sure how that's going to go. I mean, Missouri Valley was ranked number 5 whenever they played them. I'm assuming they're still number 5, which is obviously amazing. So I think that's going to be a very tough matchup for their first round of the tournament.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be pretty. That was another one, and I talked to one of the members of the women's volleyball team, and the big thing that they could not do was they could not take a lot of shots. That's where they're going to have to bridge the gap.
You meant soccer, but that's okay. You said volleyball.
Oh no, sorry. Women's soccer. You guys, I could see the looks in your eyes.
Well, it's okay, because at least you didn't say that women's lacrosse was running in, Cedar Rapids like I did last time. So,
No, but you know what? If they can put something together, I mean, soccer's one of those kinds of matches where it's whoever wants to go on the pitch and play well.
And it's also postseason too, and it's a lot different because you play these games now 1-0 is enough. type thing, so it turns into really a defensive, don't take chances unless you have to. And when you get that one good chance, convert on
What was the amount of teams that end up going to the tournament?
it.
Like
8.
for the national?
That I don't know.
So 16 people have an opening round site, and I think it kind of matches between either 1 to 2 teams at each. I think it's 40. I think there's 40 teams that make it.
Sounds about
Oh my
right.
goodness,
Sounds
that's a
about
lot.
right. Let's move on. Talk a little bit about bowling. I'm going to hand it off to Jackson on this one because you actually made it out there, took some pictures, and did all the bowling things. But they did well. The men 3rd out of 8 at the Lions Classic out at St. Charles Lanes in St. Charles, Missouri. The women 2nd out of 7 teams as well. And then and just talked with Don Griffin, the head coach, a little bit earlier today. They were able to enter JV teams as well. So the JV team, the men's JV team, won 1st place in the JV bracket. The women's JV team was 2nd in the JV bracket. So he was ecstatic with the results of this weekend.
No, it was a lot of fun. I will tell you that St. Charles Lanes on Sunday morning was packed like sardines.
It was hopping.
Unfortunately, there's like no room. They don't, obviously, when you go to a bowling alley, there's not bleachers and stands. So everybody's kind of standing in that little walkway, and they have to clear all the lanes to make sure nobody's down there. But it was a great atmosphere, a lot of fun. Of course, the host team, Lindenwood, was kind of the main point for most of those brackets. Actually, I was talking to Cassandra Foss yesterday, and she told me that if our JV boys had not won the JV bracket, Lindenwood would have actually swept.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, one of the big highlights for me from that whole day didn't actually happen for the MBU squad, but there was this ragtag team of Kansas State club bowlers who knocked off a nationally ranked McKendree.
That's awesome.
And it was funny because they're like, we don't even have a coach, and there's only 5 of us. And it was actually really funny. But
that is cool. So bowling off to a good start. They get a couple of weeks off before they head to Topeka, Kansas. I believe that's the 14th through the 16th of November. Let's talk briefly about women's volleyball. We will have Claire Ochs on here in a second, so we'll save a lot of the discussion for talking it over with her. But they're now 26-5 on the year. They sweep 3 matches last week against William Woods. They take down number 25 Mid-America Nazarene in straight sets on Friday, 3 o'clock start there on Halloween, and then kind of rebound a little bit to beat Park. 3-2. They were down 2-1, and then came back and got the win there. They won 11 in a row, and the Hart tournament is coming up on Saturday.
No, and they're gonna play a very familiar foe in Woods. During that Woods game, Gabby had 23. Alana Capella had 14 kills. And that was a tough one too, because although it was 3-1, that 4th set went 30-28. So
Right.
It went into extra points. And it's not going to be an easy walkthrough, even though we are hosting them. We're not having to travel all the way to Fulton. Hosting here in our gym, that's where we were able to take the 3-0 sweep a few weeks ago. And then, Gabby was the main character in that Park thriller where she claimed 33 kills, which was a career high for her.
Career high, and as you were looking up a little bit earlier, just 3 short of an MBU record. Anna Mercata had 36 in a match, so almost there. But yeah, good 11 in a row now for women's volleyball as they get set to play Woods again in the Heart of America Conference Tournament. Here at the SRC, 1 o'clock on Saturday. Let's talk football. A loss, 52-16 to Baker. The football team now 2 wins and 6 losses on the year as they head here as Indik.
Yeah, I mean, that was a little rough in the beginning there. I was thinking maybe we got a chance. I mean, they were receiving votes, I believe, right? So being a receiving votes team against a non-receiving votes team normally is a good matchup, right? So we're thinking, okay, maybe we got a chance here. But their QB, I mean, he was hitting those people left and right and over again. And he was doing it on the first down, too. I'm like, how are you guys doing this?
Have you ever seen that video on social media where it's like, this person, dog. This person, do you ever seen that video?
Yeah.
That's what I thought she was about to go. She'd be like, their quarterback, dog. And I was like, oh, okay.
Imagine.
No, it was definitely a tougher one to see. We couldn't kind of quite get what we wanted. Obviously, the big highlight from that for me was Lionel Banks running one in and put him within 3 of claiming the record, which is a huge deal, which I think is very doable in these last 2 games.
Yeah, Central Methodist, they also have 2 wins on the year. That's who will play for homecoming, and then we finish out the campaign against William Woods, and I think they won 1 game this year. So schedule does take a turn, gets a little bit easier for the fellas who are now 2-6 on the year, and good seats still available, by the way, for the homecoming game, 5 o'clock on Saturday. Just thought I'd slide that in there.
Yeah, it's also senior night too, so
It is,
everybody
yeah.
pop out.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Everybody.
So, as if we didn't have enough to talk about, men's and women's basketball is now underway. So let's first talk women's basketball. They haven't played an official game since we talked last week. They lost to Williams Baptist and then went to UMKC on Friday. And then tonight, we're recording this on Monday afternoon. Tonight, they will be at SIUE. And of course, the UMKC, they don't stat it. They don't talk about it. It's just an exhibition game. But Taylor Jacobson is kind of putting her girls through the ringer here early.
Yeah, I mean, Riley Jansen stood out in that first game against Williams Baptist. She was able to get 19 points and 12 rebounds, which was a good start. And then Jenna Plymel, I actually did not catch her stats, but also had a pretty solid.
She was like 10-7. Yeah, 10.7 rebounds. So,
yeah, they did pretty good. But yeah, UMKC, I mean, they're D1, so that's tough. And then we got SIUE.
They're
also an exhibition, thankfully.
That's a D1 team too.
But yeah, so now after that, we have the UHSP matchup, which hopefully that'll go in our favor.
Yeah, that's coming up this Saturday. Is that right?
This Saturday, 2 p.m.
There you go, over at UHSP in a non-conference game. It was until now an AMC conference. And if we talk about the men, speaking of UHSP, they get a win on Saturday. Played that game over at Maryville. McKaylee had a front row seat to that one. What'd you see?
I saw a lot of turnovers on both ends. Okay, both
First game of the year. That's game.
You want to know why that stands out to me? Because I was the one inputting the stats, which I have never done that before for a sport. Well, I guess I did it for soccer, but obviously that's a lot slower. But inputting the stats for basketball, it's like turnover, number 7, steal by 30, layup, and then you have to also think about the fast break, or if it's in the paint, or if it's a 3-pointer, or literally everything possible, and it's pretty stressful. But I will say, I think I was pretty calm about it. Okay?
Good.
Even though it was stressful, I was doing okay.
The boys get one under their belt, probably a little closer than Taylor Jarvis wanted, but they do get the win over UHSP. So they're 1-0 on the year. Travel to Brescia tomorrow night, 6 o'clock tip before that Saturday game. Now that's the women are playing at SIUE tonight. The men are going to play tomorrow at 6 o'clock, and then both teams will play UHSP, as we talked about, on Saturday. So we now enter the portion of the podcast where I just say wrestling, and I look at Jackson. Take it away.
Oh, of course. Who doesn't love talking about some wrestling?
Now, before you start talking, women haven't started, right?
Women have not started yet.
So there you go.
Yeah, so just the men. Actually, although we had a lot of guys compete this week, and most of them did not. It's the first tournament, a lot of them for the first time in their careers. We had a lot of really good things stand out. For me, of course, Daryl Mills finished third, went 5-1, claimed 4 bonus point victories, and I'm going to express what a bonus point victory is because most people probably don't know what that means. So in a duel, very quick format, decision gets you 3 points, and if you win by more than 7 points, or if you pin the guy, they're called bonus point victories because you get more team points. I feel like it was pretty quick, right?
It was quick.
Yeah, okay.
And I knew what it meant because, me and Ellie Malish.
Yeah, I had that wrestling match.
Never happened.
No, we did. You just aren't there.
Oh, I'm glad I missed that.
Okay.
So Gino Cardenas, I don't know if you guys have been able to seen him yet. I know you've seen him. Gosh, he is tiny at 125.
Yeah.
But he finished 5-1 on the weekend. He knocked off number 4 with a technical foul, which means he beat somebody by 15 points or more, and he pinned the number 10 wrestler in the country. Have a weekend for yourself, Gino Cardenas. And then, that all happened in the elite.
Yeah, because there was elite and the amateur bracket. So
And
that was all elite bracket. And then
for the amateur, the big one that stood out, obviously, Trey Ladyman goes 5-2, loses in the consolation semis. Would have gotten a placement match in the elite bracket, but it was a massive bracket. Those brackets were huge.
yeah.
But
I was scrolling through it on Track/Flow now because Flow bought Track, and there's literally a picture where you can see where you are in the bracket. The bracket's so big that you move around to different areas of the bracket. It's ridiculous now. So
are you still going through the Flow Wrestling for the viewer?
I don't know what I'm going through. I just looked up results. Caleb McElfresh was texting me. He's like, "Oh, the weekend that so and so had," so I had to look it up. So yeah,
I'm gonna help all the viewers out there. If you go to Track and Events Classic, toggle your viewer to Viewer Classic.
gotcha.
And that's how I'm gonna help you look at,
Perfect.
like the old ways.
So yeah, and coming up this week, tough one, interesting one with number 12 Central Methodist coming in Thursday night.
Man, and that's going to be electric. If we can pack the house, we can swing some matches. In my opinion, CMU, I can't call them a cross-state rival, sort of. I know that they're coming off a couple matches over at the Missouri Duels this weekend, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to see some ranked matchups. So if you aren't doing anything Thursday night, I know where I'll be.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to be fun. I think we've covered almost everything. We need to talk golf, as I see a picture of Luke Gardner, who won the Hart Golfer of the Week. So that's pretty awesome. So that's golf season. Fall season is over, but, talk a little bit about Luke and his accolades.
So Gardner won his very second tournament this year, shot 2 under 142 over his 2 rounds. He won by 3 strokes over the host school's William Woods Victor Vela, and of course, with that win, led MoBAP to take the title of the William Woods University Invitational.
Pretty exciting, yeah. So good week for them. Last week, that finished up on Tuesday. That's why we didn't talk about it last week. And then finally, I think I've covered everything except to tell you that cross country, not lacrosse. I made that mistake last week, but cross country going to be back in action in Cedar Rapids in the Hart Championships this Saturday. What did I forget? What else?
There was one thing that I did not talk about when we talked about wrestling. Women's wrestling heads to Quincy tomorrow.
I threw it out.
I know.
For you.
I know. So I just want to take advantage to shout out my women's wrestlers. They head to Quincy tomorrow afternoon. They wrestle at 4 p.m. You guys can follow
It's an
along.
early one.
It is an early one, but I wonder if Quincy's trying to put somebody else after us, or if they've basketball or something going on.
That could be.
Who knows? Who knows? But it's exciting.
What did we forget, Michaela? There's got to be something.
Yeah, the only thing I can think about is the Raising Cane's Athlete of the Month. We were talking about that in the beginning, but we never said who
Do it.
got
Who was it?
Who do you think?
Tell us. Well, I already spilled the beans on Luke Gardner, but who is the female?
Luke Gardner and Isabella. How do you say it? I wanted you to say it wrong. I was trying to. What's that called? Rage bait you?
Okay, you're not that old. You know what rage baiting is.
No, I actually couldn't think of it for a second. But do you know what that means, Kevin?
Rage baiting?
Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does your kid rage bait you a lot?
No.
Are you kidding? There's no way. There is no.
All right, so that's the Raising Cane's Athletes of the Month. And what do you say we take a break and gather ourselves as we'll be back in a moment. You're listening to the Spartan Up Podcast. Welcome back to the Spartan Up Podcast, now joined by women's head volleyball coach Claire Ochs. Claire, thanks for coming back on the program. We didn't scare you away the first time, I guess.
Technically my third time.
I guess that's true.
Hey, don't talk about that.
It's technically third time, but second time. Who else has been on 2 times? Anybody?
Jake
Alvernia.
We had Jake on twice. So Yeah.
I start like a club, like SNL does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll give you like a patch or something that you can wear proudly. But speaking of proudly, 11 in a row for your team. I mean, you guys, kind of have it rolling right now. Some matches obviously more challenging than others, but 11 in a row kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah, I think we got on a good roll, especially after our Granby loss. I think we kind of had a little self-check moment where we were like, okay, what do we need to get better at in order to keep improving throughout the season? And obviously we had some injuries sprinkled in there too, and a loss to two other teams. But I think they started to have a chip on their shoulder a little bit more in practice, and that started to show as we went towards the end of the conference play, especially this last weekend. I think they were determined to kind of make a statement there. So excited with how the regular season wrapped up.
Sure.
Yeah, and you guys are getting here to the right before the postseason, and kind of looking back on the last week, guys. Take William Woods, who you guys are going to have in the quarterfinals of the Heart of America tournament on Saturday. You guys took a win over
An American Nazarene.
and an American Nazarene in the Heart
Good research.
Game Winner Seat Game. Well, I looked here, and it's because I abbreviated to Mid-Am. That's totally on me. Mid-American Nazarene. Yeah, who is Mid-Am? No, but kind of from these last couple matches, something that I was a little nervous about was like, and you and I have talked about it on several occasions. Sometimes it does take a little bit for you guys to warm up. You're like, we would love for it to before the third set when you guys decide you want to play, especially in that Culver match. So, and I was a little nervous, what happens when you guys are kind of backed against the wall, and you kind of saw that in that Park match where it was going to be hard throughout the entire time. And what have you kind of been telling those girls time and time again?
Yeah, and I think they've actually started to have better starts to matches. I think that's been a big conversation for us, like making sure that we know we're not going to play our best volleyball within the first 15 points. Like we're not totally game speed. We're not totally game ready. So making sure that we just don't air ourselves out of that first set. I think a lot of times we're just swimming away, which I love them being aggressive, but kind of knowing the situation that we're in a little bit more, especially early on in a match. So we're not just making a ton of errors and not making the other team earn any points. So that's been a big topic of discussion, which I think they've done a lot better job at. Obviously, I think the Park match, it was kind of also senior night. I think there's a lot of emotions involved. It was for obviously the regular season championship. So I think, playing for a regular season championship on your senior night is very tough because the girls were crying beforehand and I'm getting a little emotional about stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I was just glad that when we were down 2-1 in sets that they turned it around and really made a statement in the fourth and the fifth set. So overall, I think they're doing a better job about getting off to better starts.
Yeah, so right before Park, you guys played number 25 Mid-Am, as Jackson would say. Did you expect that to go how it did? I mean, being a ranked number 25 and then you guys are 20, I believe. So 17. Okay, I was like, wait a minute. I feel like it's better than that. But yeah. So did you expect that to go how it was? I mean, 3 sets and you guys were sort of killing it in the beginning there.
Yes and no. I always have a lot of confidence in our girls where even if the opponent's ranked, I expect them to play at a very high level and for us to be able to beat these top 25 teams. I think it's always tough in the conference to play away matches. So I think from their perspective, I think that's very challenging. And our game was earlier, so I'm sure they were traveling early in the morning to get there. So I wasn't expecting it to be a total sweep where it wasn't very close the whole time. I think they are a better team than what they probably showed us on Friday. So kind of going into the postseason, if we do end up lined up with them again, let's say they upset someone or I don't know, I think we got to be more prepared and not have that same mindset about them not playing their best on Friday. Now we played at a really high level, so I want to give our girls credit as well, but I don't think they played to their full potential either.
I want to talk a little bit about that Friday match as well. A couple of thoughts on it. After it was over, I mean, no disrespect to Mid-America Nazarene, but you guys trucked the number 25 team in the country. That was high level. I hate to pick out individual players, but there was a stretch there that even Alina Arsoff was on a roll, and I'm like, if Alina gets into it, Gabby Fernanda, like if you get one more person like on a roll, this team is going to be very, very hard to beat. And like there was moments there Friday, I was like, wow, like it's happening like right here in front of us now. Saturday, things happen, like you said, emotions or whatever. But that was for me, not just because it was number 25, but the way that you guys played Friday, I was like, this could happen. Like this could be a run, you know?
I totally agree with you. And I actually had a conversation with the coaching staff after. I would like, that is the best volleyball I've seen us play. We didn't make a ton of errors. Like you said, all of our attackers were like getting involved. And I think the more that we have that, it takes a lot of stress off of our other attackers that have been hitting at a high number and giving a lot of kills for us. And I mean, I agree with you. We're scary when we have those people on. And I think the more that we kind of get into this postseason, the more we'll kind of see that. And yeah, and I agree with you. It's a little.
And again, that's a Mid-America Nazarene. You guys, won that pretty handily, but that is the team that beat Grandview. Like the only team that beat the other co-champion in the conference, and you guys made it look relatively easy that day. I hate to say that, but you did.
You're right. It was shockingly easy, which is maybe not the best thing to say. I do think that the girls really had a chip on their shoulder about Mid-America beating Grandview and kind of wanting to make that statement. So I think there was some extra push and extra motivation to get that win in the way and the matter that we did. And hopefully that kind of helps push them more into that postseason with having that mindset going into the rest of our matches, like proving to everyone that they are the team that myself and everyone else believes them to be.
Yeah, so, kind of previewing this match against the Owls on Saturday, you guys have won 6 of the 7 sets you guys have had. But, as I kind of look back on that last match, Pamela Durazo for the Owls was able to rally off 9 blocks. And that, that's not something that you can really allow against teams like that. And I know there's always in the postseason, you want to kind of end it early if you can, because you want to get rested, you want to get prepared. What kind of adjustments are you guys making going into Saturday afternoon's match?
Yeah, I don't want to give all our secrets away for those.
We're not asking you to.
No, but I do think that it's nice having the week to prep now that we played Saturday and we don't play until this next Saturday. So luckily we can kind of slow down practices a little bit and prep on what William Woods did very well against us. I do think that they blocked well against us. They ran our middles more the second time that we played them. So prepping a little bit more for those things just so that we're prepared. And then honestly kind of just refocusing on ourselves too, because I think when we play clean and we're passing well and we're serving well and we're defending well, like it's no matter what the other team does, I think it's hard to stop us. So we'll focus on, a couple key things that I think we need to reevaluate moving into this next matchup, and then we'll kind of refocus back on ourselves. So I do like that we have some preparation time now for this first matchup.
Yeah, so talk a little bit about Gabby and how she's had an impact. I mean, on that previous game against Park, she had 33 kills. I mean, that's got to be...
That was her career high.
Is that like a record probably in one game? I mean, 33 is insane.
We'll have to check the record, but I know after the game we talked, like the coaches were talking about it being her career high.
Do you think she like felt like she was just on fire, or was she like, this is normal for me?
I think it's a little of both. I think that she was definitely on. I can always tell that when Gabby turns it on, like that she's like, I'm like, okay, give this girl the ball.
Yep.
Especially like kind of towards this postseason, I think she kind of flipped another switch. So for me, like I didn't even really think twice about it being her daughter. I'm used to seeing everything. Yeah. I know she can take over matches and perform at a really high level and get a lot of kills. And he's seen her do that in a lot of other matches as well. So I was not surprised. And I was like, wow, she actually got way more kills than I thought.
Yeah. And then same with like Valentina. I mean, she's only a freshman. Mm-hmm. When I watch her, I'm like, this girl is like, she seems so humble, but she knows that she's killing it. Like I don't know. She just gives off such a good vibe. And I can see that just from taking some stats.
Yeah, it's exciting that she's a freshman. I think we have a lot of key players this year that still have eligibility, like Hernanda being a sophomore still is like awesome for us. But yeah, especially, Val's done a great job at running the offense. And I do think that with her being a freshman, there's still a lot that we can teach her and mold her into on top of the player and the athlete and the person that she already is. So it's exciting for her to be at that point, but I'm really excited to kind of see where she can improve and where she takes it, in the next couple years.
For sure.
I really want to get your thoughts. Let's kind of turn our attention to the tournament itself and kind of your mindset going into it. I know that we have, William Woods coming up on Saturday, and was like, oh, and then we're gonna host, and then maybe we might go to Granby. But you can't look at it that way. Like it's one match at a time. You guys have, with your resume, kind of built up a bit of a cushion. Even if things go south, you're probably still going to make the national tournament, but they're not going to go south. I don't want to speak that into existence, but how do you kind of handicap the tournament? Like, because, seeds mean a little, seeds mean, who's going to host these games, but, the sixth seed might be playing the best of anyone in the conference right now. So how do you kind of handicap that a little bit for us?
Yeah, I definitely think, taking it game by game. Like, I think the William Woods game is definitely going to be our main focus, first. We played them twice. So I think playing somebody 3 times is always going to have its challenges. You guys get used to each other. You have a lot of time to see what we need to get better at.
So especially with Woods, I mean, we've been playing them for years, So,
And I think, they swept Mid-America on Saturday as well. So I think they're a team that I've seen continue to get better. So I think that's going to be our main focus. And then also, like, with us playing on, Tuesday and then Saturday, it starts to have a little bit of a quicker turnaround than just, you don't have the whole week to prepare anymore. So I think as a coach, you kind of have to look ahead a little bit, because I think there's going to be stuff that we need to prepare if we do play Grandview, and we won't be able to do it in 2 practice days. But from a player perspective, I think it's important for them to take it game by game, because, I mean, truly anyone in the conference could be anyone, especially at this stage in the postseason. So, yes, definitely taking more on attack.
And, obviously there's a lot of expectations that have been set for you guys and all that. But, like, beyond all that, like, what are you looking most forward to here in this offseason or upcoming postseason?
it's not the off season yet, Jackson.
Spoke.
I honestly truly love this group of girls. So even for us to get extra time into the postseason, like, just being together as a team, I think is my favorite. Like, we have some funny girls on the team. So, like, truly hanging out with them is the best part of my job. Like, yes, I love winning. I don't think that's a secret. All the girls love winning too. But I think that only goes so far. Like, I think they are amazing humans and they make me laugh on the daily. So kind of going into this postseason, like, being able to possibly go to the national tournament where we can hopefully be there for a couple days. Like, you guys are with each other 24/7, just creating those memories. And obviously at the tournament, they have a lot of fun things to do. And so I think that's what I'm most looking for.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the stuff you remember whenever you're out of the sport. Is you don't remember how many goals you scored against a certain team, how many blocks you had during a game. You'll always remember those memories. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and especially for these group of seniors, now that I've been here for head coaching for 2 years, I think those roles that I've had last year, it makes it a little bit more emotional each year. Can you just get more connected to, you have a more personal relationship with them as, you're here some longer. So
Yeah.
I think that's what also makes the postseason a little.
Yeah. And I mean, you're a little like in the moment, you're thinking, how am I going to react if this is the last game? And then you're thinking like, if I show emotion right now, then this isn't going to be good for my seniors,
Well,
So-
funny you say that, because at the Grace opening round tournament last year, I was literally thinking that in my head. I'm like, how am I going to talk to the girls after this?
Yeah.
Like, I just felt like so sad for them. And then all of a sudden we started winning. And I'm like, let's go.
You're like, I'll think about that a different day.
Okay, put that best in the grade. But I'm not going to lie, I was kind of thinking that, because, I mean,
Yeah.
literally we're about to lose.
I know, and that's so hard as a coach. Like, I've done that for some of my field hockey and lacrosse girls, like, knowing that it's their last game, and then what do you say? Thank you so much for being a part of this program. And, like, there's no words that can
It's hard.
put
to
how
put
much they mean to you.
words.
Yeah.
For sure, especially for those seniors. Like, they put a lot into this program. So
Speaking of wrapping it up, final question. As we bring it back, one game at a time, what has to go well on Saturday for you guys to get that first Heart victory under your belt?
Sure. I think the last weekend this weekend was the exception, but last weekend I thought our offense stood down a little bit more, and actually our weaknesses, which has been our service, even our serving, really stood out to me in those Benedictine Baker matches and kind of pulled us through to win. So I'm not fearful that our offense is awesome. So I'm not worried about that, but kind of focusing more back on our weaknesses, making sure that we're doing those things well. And then really just making sure we're playing thing volleyball. But besides that, I feel like the girls are feeling good. We're getting some rest today. So hopefully they feel well rested going into Saturday. So that's kind of main priority right now.
We appreciate you being with us for the third time, record-setting third time. That's Claire Ochs. She is the women's head volleyball coach here at Missouri Baptist. We'll be back in a moment on the Spartan Up Podcast. The final segment of the Spartan Up Podcast. I had to be a little dramatic with it there. But as we always do, this last section, we talk about what we are most excited about regarding MBU athletics. And let's go with McKaylee first this time.
Well, I am now excited since men's soccer and women's soccer is coming to an end, but I'm excited for...
So you're saying we're going to lose Wednesday. You're already saying it's the end. Is that...
It's a fact. It's coming to the end.
No, they could go all the way through the end of November and win the national championship.
It'll be the last 2-3 weeks. That's the end.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
You're trying to rage bait me right now, Kevin. I don't think it.
I don't know what that is. So.
No freaking way. Okay. Well, I am excited for both of the basketballs. It was honestly so fun being able to stat those games and see how fast paced it was. I mean, I have been able to call and say the stats for volleyball, which I thought was fast paced, but then basketball just keeps going. And it's like there's no
break in between points or anything.
Yeah, they just keep going. And it's like layup this, turnover, steal. It just gets insane. But I love it. I really love the fast paced environment. Why are you laughing? You don't know what fast paced environment is, Jared?
No, I'm just giggling at you explaining stats.
Why? They're all rage baiting me.
You're just like you're just making stats seem like, I don't know, The Amazing Race or something.
It is.
No,
Hey, I want to see you do it.
I will never. That's okay though.
What are you most excited about, Jackson?
I'm so glad you asked.
Before this turns into a 45-minute show, by the way. But anyway,
we're nearing the time.
Yeah.
And that this was really hard. This was really hard. But I have to say, I'm always a big fan of some home wrestling in the Petty SRC at 7 p.m. Come on, guys. Let's come out.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. That's runner-up for me. But, anytime you have a football team and it's homecoming week, like everything surrounding homecoming, trying to develop some of those traditions and things like that here at Missouri Baptist. So I'm most excited about, everything surrounding homecoming with the Hall of Fame induction of 4 new members on Friday night. And there's some events going on, obviously, around campus. And the volleyball game is going to happen at 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. That's not a homecoming thing. That's just it's happening during homecoming weekend. And then the football game starts at 5. And there's just a lot going on this weekend that all of it is what I'm most excited about. So, yeah. That's it. Any final words from y'all?
No, that makes 3 of us. We're all just excited.
Yes. Yes, we are. All right, that'll do it for the Spartan Up Podcast for McKaylee and Jackson. I'm Kevin, and make plans to join us again next week on the Spartan Up Podcast.